What's up? Tweeting out the link. Oh, hey, Megan.
Hey, Rico.
What's up? Pick Central on a Thursday. Joined by Megan in a little screen at a location undetermined across the country. Marty Mush, Big Ev, Chris Clements on my right. We are brought to you by the Barstool Sportsbook. Download and sign up for the Barstool Sportsbook today. Terms apply. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. You got the hit parade today, which hit last night. The hit parade is quickly becoming like almost an everyday thing.
Let's go, boys.
Yeah, they're moving it around all the time. You have something with Kelly cooking? Megan, what is that?
We'll put the pin in that one.
Okay. I like that. You were all hot. You were ready to go last night. But you got.
Yeah, I know. We'll put a pin in
all
that
good.
one.
You got bombs away. You got Clemmer working now. You're basically working for Stephen Che in terms of data. You got the one I was looking at, the division NFL odds up. We can touch on it later, but the Detroit Lions as a favorite in the division. I don't know when the last time that was. Interesting to see. Yeah, definitely interesting to see. So either way, download and sign up for the Barstool Sportsbook today. Terms apply. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. We had a perfect game last night.
We did. We did indeed.
Domingo Germán, 11-0 against the A's. The question I have off of this, and it's not a Yankee slight. It would be if anybody did it, because I think the A's are going to get no-hit again this year. I know that sounds crazy. But in terms of history, is this the easiest level of difficulty of all the no-hitters or perfect games of all time?
Well, I don't think
we're going to look, and I'm not knocking it because he's got to go out and get it done, and they are major leaguers.
I think you can't
putting a hypothetical.
Put it behind no hitters.
Oh, you didn't put a hypothetical.
First, I want to congratulate Marty and Ev on their win yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Megan.
I need them to have that after Clemmer just went at their fucking throats.
Wait,
I think Clemmer needs to give a good job, guys, to the boys over there.
Megan, what had Stanton do next today?
Boo.
Megan,
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this about.
I took the Yankees yesterday. That's also why. So
Domingo Germán. I mean, the A's are horrible, right?
Right.
Well, sure, they're could easily lose more games than 62 Mets.
Unfortunately, not on the store anymore.
On the store, too popular. They said it was too much of a hot seller. But I will say this though, we're at the halfway point of the season, just about almost at the 81 game mark. No one else has no hit the A's.
True.
No one else has done a perfect game against the A's. So while Domingo Germán, not one of the good guys in baseball, you have to also acknowledge, though, that he did do something that no one else has done this year. So
in 11 years.
No, but I mean, I think using the A's.
Yeah.
It's like
I agree.
The A's are, like Rico was saying, the A's are horrible. Like the degree of difficulty is very low. Sandy Koufax threw, I think, a perfect game against the Mets in the early 60s, right? When they were an expansion team. That's a pretty low degree of difficulty, but it still counts.
That's the thing. Listen, the A's, we all know they suck. Like one of the worst teams I've ever watched. But they're still major league hitters that you pitched a perfect game. Like it's not even a no-hitter, honestly, wouldn't have done much for me last night.
Oh, I don't know about that.
It would have been fine. I would have been. It's such a difference, that perfect game to that one walk to none is so. It's just so rare. Listen, the guy's a bad guy, but he still pitched a perfect game.
I mean, a perfect game, 9 strikeouts, 99 pitches.
Yeah, under 100 pitches.
Yeah, he threw a gem.
Obviously, a perfect game is obviously it's saying perfect because it's flawless. But that's flawless even amongst the flawless.
Two at bats. He had 3 balls. Only
that's
2.
What I'm saying. I mean, he was
insane.
It's literally called a perfect game. He was.
And we were talking about before. Clemmer brought up before. Like there was one play that helped it. The rest were very easy outs.
Very efficient.
That's the point I'm asking. Is of all the perfect games, stack all the lineups in history. Is this the easiest lineup that's ever been faced in a perfect game?
I'd have to go through all of them. I don't know.
I think that lineup was atrocious.
Just as bad?
Yeah. I mean,
it's up there. It's top.
It's up there.
Top
this
3.
is one of the worst teams in baseball history.
Yeah, and then you even going down the list of no hitters. Now I agree with you. A perfect game is definitely more difficult than a no hitter. But I
don't think you put any no hitter ahead of what.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying though, line them all up. Perfect games and no hitters. Where is this in how bad this lineup was? Top 5, top 10.
I mean, probably.
It's worth asking. And
I
it's
feel like-
hard to go through all that stuff.
You're still putting it down a little bit. You don't understand, but you're putting it down.
Listen,
I
you
kinda
gotta
hate
make
that
us. What am I
question.
supposed
Like,
to? You want me to go
it's
through
the
the pitch?
worst,
Oh, you really?
best game
He
of
really.
all time.
No, we're talking
really
about.
split the
I'm
plate
just saying.
there. The
you're-
curve was working in the fourth inning. I'm not gonna go dissect the.
No,
the actual
you're putting
game.
it down a little bit. It's okay. You're putting it down a
You
little
gotta
bit.
put a hypothetical on something or to have a different twist.
It's not a hypothetical. It's your opinion.
He's just saying how bad is it?
Hypothetical, how bad are the lines?
How can I discredit this perfect game in
Yeah,
any way I can?
Exactly.
Basically, how we did it.
Koufax's perfect game, by the way, was against the Cubs in '65. So that team had Ernie Banks. So this lineup's worse than that one. Koufax did throw no hitter against the Mets.
Just because they had Ernie Banks?
Billy Williams, Ron Santo.
How did you mix that up? Weren't you
Ron
there?
Santo.
Santo.
Oh, I couldn't go that.
Once you got Santo, he put you in your place.
Billy Williams. I mean,
Missed that.
they're all-
I said, how'd you mix that up? You weren't you there?
That's good. That's an old.
I couldn't go that day.
I need to
Oh,
see
God.
it.
You want to? We need
Brandon's out.
a few of these young guys to become players.
Yes.
We're looking back at this in like 10 years, and be like, oh, but Rooker became a perennial all-star. Look,
You couldn't.
that's,
Hey,
we need
what's-
some of these
that's
guys to
probably
pan
not.
out.
Someone
Who's
has to
their
be all-star.
A
leadoff?
few of them got to pan out to be
Who's
decent.
their leadoff guy?
The A's
Yeah.
flips around. They have another guy named Noda who's pretty.
Noda, that's the other guy.
Noda and
The
Rooker. are their
leadoff
team.
guy. He was scrappy. Yeah.
And
Hey,
Langoliers.
Tyler Wade's on the team.
Yeah,
didn't play us.
Shea Langoliers is a.
And when he
competent-
played, Lariano isn't like the worst player in the world. He's like been.
Listen,
in
they're
leagues.
bad, whatever, but a perfect game. Like no one else, like Clemmer said, also, I'm sure there's the best pitchers in the league have faced the A's already, and they not
A lot of them
perfect
have.
game. Like we're 70, 80 games
Right.
into the season. You got to give him his credit. Again, bad guy.
Every game
good-
is a perfect game.
He
period.
also got booed off the mound last game and
Up
lit up
10
10
runs.
Like no one. This
I feel
was
like that happens way more than
Yes.
you expect.
Yeah, it does.
I feel like a perfect game is not after they like two-hitter,
A
or
complete
three-hitter,
shutout,
or
game
complete-
shutout or something.
I
yeah.
feel like it's after you do shit or you feel like shit. Wasn't it David Wells was hungover?
Yeah.
He said.
Yep.
When he threw it.
I had a problem with the fucking Ryan Rucco last night. Like, he was begging for a hit to happen. He texted David Cohn in the middle of the sixth inning, being like, "When did you feel the pressure?" Well, you don't text David Cohn. You don't talk about it. That's such a rule.
Announcers love that shit.
Announcers love to be in the mix of being like, "Oh, let's talk about the perfect game as much as we can." I know you have to set the scene, but you don't need to be texting David Cohn.
That's
in the middle of fucking-
see, I agree with you, but I don't even get mad about that stuff anymore because they all try so hard.
They really do. It's almost obvious.
If you watch any football game, he's like, oh, he's never missed a kick on Tuesday in October, or blah blah blah. Like they'll say any stat they can to just mush the.
Yeah,
fuck
because
out of
it's all the
kicker
fucking.
or whatever sport it is, like basketball free throws, like
It's all the little Clemmers running around before the game to give the announcers the stats. you know?
Terrible, right? It's awful stats.
As much as we complain about that as gamblers, though, I kind of respect that they keep doing it.
Oh, when I watch,
You know what I'm
when I
saying?
watch
It's a little
football game,
games, like it's gamesmanship.
I bet
I think it's gamesmanship. It's gamblers versus the announcers.
in football.
It drives me nuts, but they need to do
Insane.
that.
I was
There has to
screaming.
be a balance.
Last night I was literally screaming at Ryan Rook. I was like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?"
I did think he had a good call though at the end.
great call. No,
His
he's a
call was
great
good at the
announcer. I
end.
love Ryan Rucco. Just I did not like what he was doing last night.
Who's the real Domingo Herman? I like the guy that gave up 15 runs in the last two starts before this, or the guy that threw the perfect game? Like who?
No, I think it's the guy that does both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's
exactly
I think
who he
it
is.
really is.
He's-
He's gonna be like really awesome and he can be really shitty.
I've at times before
You can't
this,
trust a guy like that. Two sides. His highs are high. His
But
lows
you
are
have
low.
to. But yeah, no, you don't want to trust a guy like that. But I've always been like that with him because sometimes I'm like, oh fuck, Herman might be good, and then we're like, oh my god, he sucks. I've
It's usually
never.
on the days that you probably take him, like when you're
Yes.
betting on him, like he's good, and then you're like, no,
Yep.
fuck this guy.
1000%.
He pitched like, oh, he pitched really good last game, like, and then
He just like probably one another. You know, it's like a little.
I'm gonna
pattern.
try my hardest right now to not scream at Clemmer, but I want you to say
Oh,
nothing.
I missed that yesterday. It got
'Cause
dicey.
I also no. Well, that was this is another conversation that
Marty
went on-
was pissed yesterday.
I was pissed after the show way more. It went on for about an hour and a half. No one filmed it when I leave. Of course they filmed it, but I want you to say nothing. And if I say something wrong, you can interject. I'm not gonna try and give away anything.
I don't trust your storytelling abilities.
Did I just say you can interject if I say something wrong? See, you're starting already. All right. Yesterday, he said that RBIs.
Nope. We have to start from where the conversation started. This is why I don't trust your storytelling abilities. We're talking about Giancarlo Stanton. and we're trying to debate on whether he's a decent player or not. And Marty says in 2018 he had 100 RBIs, and I said I don't care.
But that also, you were telling it wrong again, you dumb fuck, because I just said one thing and you jumped down my throat. I was going through his stats and said he has 100 RBIs. And
I don't care.
I don't care. I said,
And you freaked out.
yeah, and then I said RBIs matter. I don't think it's the best, they're the most important stat, but RBIs matter. And you said they do not matter
When
at
you're
all.
evaluating players, they do not matter. That's correct.
Okay, that's dumb. What's your guys' opinion?
I think that's dumb.
I can
like
explain
RBIs.
it. I can explain my point.
I can explain my point.
RBIs
They
put
just
up
don't matter at
crooked
all.
numbers.
And evaluating
I
a-
Let
understand
him
the
go.
argument.
You'll go.
I understand the
Caveat.
argument. You can be put in certain positions that have more RBIs, like depending where you bat in the order, who's in front of you, like blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Those kind of things. I understand that element to it, but to write it off as like they don't matter at all, because I do think timely hitting, I believe,
There's a
does
better
matter.
stat for that. Why don't you look at batting average with runners in scoring position?
No, fair. I
And
think
that way you're
matters
seeing
too.
an actual thing. So if someone's a leadoff hitter or if someone's batting ninth or someone's on a bad team, they're going to have less opportunities to bring runs in. So the RBI is going to be inflated for guys that are on good teams or batting third, fourth, or fifth in the lineup. It's
You're
not a fair
batting
stat.
ninth because you're not good. Like you're batting ninth for a reason. You're batting ninth because you can't drive in runs mostly. You put your best hitters at 3, 4, 5 because they can.
But
drive
you actually
in
put your
runs.
best hitters in the number 2 spot in the lineup, but that's fine. So, but that's why
That's just not every
Ohtani
team.
is not getting a lot of RBIs.
Don't act like you just know everything, because I also know what the third batter's not a.
Oh, it's the second
Let's
most
see.
important part of
Okay,
life.
so that's
I
the same
agree.
fucking thing. So don't.
But the number 2 guy is going to have less opportunities than the 3 guy. So it's a bad
Yes,
stat.
but
Why not look at a stat that's going to give us a fairer picture? Why look
Because
at
also,
why not look at an ineffective
My
stat?
point of RBIs is also, if you look at anybody that has 100 RBIs, it shows that their other stats are very good as
You know who's
well.
4th in the National League in RBIs right now?
Lindor.
Yes. You say all
wow.
the time that he sucks.
He obviously doesn't. I know Lindor doesn't suck. I do it to piss you off.
You said on this show
I
a
know,
number
I
of times.
do it to
So
piss
you're
you
saying
off.
stuff in this show that's not true?
Yes. What do you mean?
You're new
Yes.
here.
You
You're
troll
new
people.
Yeah, I guess so.
Look up.
I mean,
look
I
up.
think 2 days ago we said the jerseys mattered.
Yes, like we know.
Fucking around.
You fuck around sometimes. Look up last year who had over 100 RBIs. Let's say if they're a good player or not. That is just what RBIs matter
The
because
best player,
only thing-
best player isn't even on that list though. Otani's not even on that list.
yes, but you could still look at the look. Can we pull up the list? Okay, last year.
Obviously, I don't think you just sit there and say, all right, like number 1 RBIs is the best.
No,
hit.
no,
That's
they're not.
obviously
They're not.
I know you're not saying that either.
But I'm saying that you know that the top 10 guys here are all good fucking players.
Number 9 is a superstar.
Everybody on that list, obviously, in my opinion, is like a good, obviously very good
Right,
player.
they're all.
They obviously can range.
But why?
of
But
course.
why use that stat to evaluate players when there's other better options available?
But that's without the argument. The argument is that.
What was the argument?
No, the argument is
One's
that you're
gonna
saying
be
RBIs
perfect.
don't matter at
I
all.
like yours with the runners in scoring position.
Yeah,
The one thing, maybe it's from being a defeated Met fan, RBI, you can also get a productive out.
Yes.
Like, I don't want a guy coming up. You got second and third, no outs. All you got to do is put the ball in the air
Right.
to get me a run. You know what I mean? Like, so runners in scoring position, that's probably the best in terms of where you hit, but I also like productive outs, and RBIs gives you that, and
That's what I was gonna say with RBIs. It's.
Because I think that matters too, like going up there and knowing I cannot strike out. I got to put the ball in the air, or I got to put the ball to the right side.
Yeah,
which I think a lot of
course it
guys
matters.
don't do. That's a whole other
Situational
conversation.
hitting.
That's what I'm saying. 'cause
I don't think a lot of
RBIs is
guys
still
play to bring runs in. I think they play for themselves, but that's
And out there, one out,
It's
sack
still
fly.
it's still a productivity stat.
yeah.
I think it's you're being productive. Like if you're
Right.
driving a lot of runs, you're still being productive.
And-
I totally get that. There's like the different
The
opportunities.
the playing field isn't level. So if you're
That's fair.
evaluating
That's
players,
fine.
you need a level playing field, right? That's the whole thing. We're evaluating
so
players.
I-
We need everything to be as even as possible, as few variables as possible.
I can agree with that as well, but you cannot. But like what I'm saying is RBIs definitely matter because even though it's not a fair stat, but it's still a stat where a guy got 100 people batted in. Like he did that himself. He shouldn't not be looked at for what he did because he had more opportunities.
I don't care about that when I'm evaluating players
now
because
that's-
Albert Pujols
I see-
had 100 RBIs with the Angels and he sucked.
Can
He
I
just
ask you a
happened to bat
question?
fourth
I can agree.
behind Mike Trout. You don't want to hear what I'm saying.
No, I heard it.
You do.
Albert Pujols had
I'll
100
tell you
RBIs.
facts
I
and
heard
you
it.
just shut down.
I just heard it. Albert Pujols had 100 RBIs.
Why do you have 100 RBIs?
Because he had more opportunities.
Because Mike Trout was in front of him.
Okay.
So, but you shouldn't get credit for being a good player because of that.
That's one player out of
Frank Gore.
We just showed
Yeah, Frank
we
Gore
showed
had 100
13
You don't
people.
want to listen.
Oh my God, I'm listening.
No, you're talking over me.
Shut up.
You don't.
No. God damn, dude. Just because when I say I agree with you, you just say you agree to nothing I'm saying ever. You have not agreed once at all.
It's
you have
not true at all.
What have you agreed
We're having
with?
a conversation.
What have you agreed with?
I'm explaining. I said I agree
you
with
haven't agreed
productive
with
outs. That's a fine thing to look at. Absolutely. But like, I'm trying to explain, Jeff Francoeur had over 100 RBIs. Well, that's not. He was not a great player.
I showed you 13 players last year.
You did, and some of those guys weren't great. C.J. Cron is not better than Shohei Ohtani. Hate to break it to you.
Yes, he is.
Okay, first of all, we know that. Second of all, we're showing it's a good player.
But why use that to evaluate guys when there's better stats available?
This is what you said. I'm saying RBIs matter.
I think what we're saying more. It should be one of like a group of things that matter.
Way down the list.
So is
way
war,
down the list.
Is war to you like the end all be all? I'm genuinely asking.
It's the easiest one to grab. But like C.J. Cron plays in Colorado, right?
Of course.
There's going to have more offensive opportunities. You can't use the same measuring stick with C.J. Cron that you would for Shohei Ohtani. It's not going to work that way.
So to you is like, and there's like
OPS plus helps.
OPS plus
because that also factors in where they play.
Okay.
Also factors in the era they play in. In 1968, guys didn't score runs. It's the year of the pitcher. We saw that even in 1987, there was like a juice ball. Look at what happened in the steroid era. You need to look at all those things when you're evaluating players. Marty doesn't care. He's on his phone.
No, I'm listening at all. It's just because you read a book doesn't mean you know everything.
It's more than just reading a book. I want you to read books. I'm trying to help you learn about some other aspects of the game, but you won't even do that.
No, I get the other aspects, but for you to say RBIs are one of the least mattering things in baseball is one of the stupidest.
I never said exactly that.
You said they don't matter at all, actually.
I said when you're evaluating players, they do not matter.
Yeah, well, that's just
because there's other stats that do that have
true.
a more of a level playing field.
If you do read one book, you can kind of fix everything.
Yeah.
Broken up into two parts.
Bible?
Old and new, but that's just me.
Oh, you're just...
So I didn't know this was that heated. I'm walking into...
Bro, because
I think
he is so hard-headed.
Things that got really heated yesterday when he had made the remark that Giancarlo Stanton he didn't believe was a major league player.
I do not believe he's a major league player.
That's wild.
See, that's what I'm saying. I'm not even saying...
Find a spot in the lineup. Like, that's...
Want to hear stats since the All-Star break from last year?
But this is where I don't want to get like in circles, like just do the same thing.
You would have been DFA'd.
Wait, I have one thing to say. I'm sorry.
I just think there's like I talk about regression. Like there's things where like he's been good before that. I think you're like I'm saying. I guess the point I'm trying to make is we've seen guys, and especially in baseball, have roller coaster type trajectories. Where I think like a guy with his level of talent, you'll just like throw him in the
batting
trash
150 since last year's All-Star break. How many guys can you remember recovering from that? I don't know many.
But I mean, then you could say like,
year almost.
that he hit 50 home runs. He did this and that.
He did. No, the year before that he didn't hit 50.
But before that he did.
Right. Like so what? I mean.
So do you think Alonso?
But someone could like
Steve Winfield was a good player 40 years ago. I don't think he should be on a major league roster. What does it matter?
But you're saying so he could never be good again ever.
I don't know. I'm starting to wonder that when you hit $150 over 11-month period, I'm starting to question some things. Yeah.
I don't think he should go as far as what he's saying, but
Exactly.
put it this way.
I'm admitting he's wrong. He's
you
bad.
start to see rock bottom. It's way more difficult to get out of that and come back.
No, I
from
totally get it.
I guess what you're saying, like what he's saying is when you start to see the rock bottom rather than the high highs, that's when you start to be like, all right, the show might be.
I guess my point is, I come from the cloth where like I think you should take like everything into account. Like I think like numbers matter, like stats and numbers matter. But I also think there's like an eye test matters and there's some like I don't want to say like feel, but there's a level of like we know how good like he can be. And listen, maybe he never gets back to the form ever again. Is that possible? Sure. But I think like the talent we've seen from the guy is enough not to just like throw the guy in the. I understand we owe money too, but regardless, it's like just to throw him in the trash can. We know like what he is capable of. Like he can get really hot, and like all of a sudden we could look up in a year from now or 2 years from now, and the numbers could be significantly better. I guess the point I'm trying to make, where you can't totally you can like the numbers can only project really like what happened. They can't totally project what's going to happen. I guess is my point.
To say he's not an MLB player is a little too far.
If
and
he
I
wasn't
would say like with baseball, unlike other sports, like I feel like if you have like a really down year in football, like it's way hard. I feel like it's way harder to come back in other sports than it is in baseball because there are so many like real slumps players get in their heads. Like, I mean, there's the fucking yips. Like there's not yips in very many other sports. I feel like that's where it originated. I mean, you know, baseball, is that correct? The yips originated in baseball, right? Yep. So I feel like, again, like Marty and Ev were saying, not to disagree, but I feel like the ebbs and flows of baseball, you have to take in accountability of an entire career. Yeah, he might suck the last 2 years, but as they said, you don't want to just throw him away based on I mean, obviously, I get what you're saying. He's paid.
He's 34. He's batting 150. I think he'd throw those guys away. Yes.
I do say that I don't agree with balling him up and throwing him away, because again, he could just all of a sudden walk into batting practice tomorrow and fucking feel it again and turn this whole ship around. You know what I'm saying?
And last night could have also got him going again. You have no idea.
It's just as a baseball player, sometimes you need the juice and you need the flow, you need the feel. Sometimes you just don't feel like fucking playing baseball. Sometimes you hate your team. Sometimes you hate where you live. Could be this fucking smoke from the last couple of months.
The last 11 months?
Clemmer doesn't think about the mental of players. He says he only looks at stats.
I can't control that. I can't get inside their heads.
No, I know, but
why measure that if I can't control it?
But that's
I'm not going to
But that's like an eye. There's like an eye thing that I think like
the eye test on Stanton in the last 11 months have made you guys feel better about him?
No, we've also never sweetened. Oh, he's not good.
I don't love having to completely just keep.
What has he done the last 11 months to make you guys? I thought you guys would hate him more than me.
It's another problem.
It's more. I think it was more just the him not being on a roster was like just a very like.
I think they know what he can do. Like his athletic ability, exactly what Stanton can do.
Joe Montana used to do a lot of good stuff too, but I don't think he's going to be a starting quarterback. Joe Montana, he was popular for a while.
Come on,
but while he was playing,
that's what I'm saying. Like now you're doing these like crazy games of guys 90 years old.
Guys age out, guys. It's sports.
33.
You can't do it anymore. Stan's also been hurt a ton.
He's
33. We're not saying he's not that old yet.
70. Like I'm not sitting here saying fucking whoever from like Mickey Mantle can hit
home
runs.
Okay, let's assume you guys are right. Why is he only batting 150 in the last 11 months?
What are you supposed to say? He's struggling.
But like that's a long time. Like what's going on?
They can't get in his head, Clemmer. Come on, you know that.
Why is Alonso batting 190 since end of April?
Was that? I'm sorry.
Why is Alonso batting 190 at the end since
Alonso and Lindor are both not hitting for contact right now.
Oh, I know, but
very troubling.
So it's the same thing. Like I don't think Alonso sucks, but he's been batting 190 since April. That's not good.
It's not good at all. I'm
a lot of better people are than that. So it's like.
But what Mush is saying, does Alonso not deserve to be on an MLB roster?
No, because he's hitting enough home runs to make it worth being on the roster. This is since April. For Stanton, this goes all the way back to last July.
So he's batting runs in, so RBIs matter.
I never said that. I said he's being a productive power hitter. He's hitting home runs, what I said. I never said RBIs.
Also,
nice try, though.
With Stanton, I'm not going to just bring up a young guy right now who's going to have the same potential as Stanton right now.
I don't know.
Oh, that's a fact.
Oh, I know. The fact is the last 11 months he's batting 150. That's a fact.
You didn't listen to anything I just said.
Did. You said there's no one who has the same potential as him. I don't know what Stanton's potential is right now. He's 34, 33, and he's batting 150.
But I feel like if you go off only numbers, then potential isn't even a thing.
Yeah.
Of course it is. You look at the minor league numbers. Of course it's been
Well, you looked at his. What about his?
But then what happens? I'm sorry. If you're looking at minor league numbers, what happens when you get brought down and you absolutely kill it, and then?
So you think Stanton's going to be sent down to the minors?
People go back to the system.
No, they don't. You can't send Stanton back to the minors. It's actually not allowed.
Well, why?
No, I'm saying not Stanton particularly. I'm just saying in general.
So, but those are younger players. He's 34. He's a veteran. He can decline any minor league assignment. So it cannot happen.
You look at Stanton's back 3 years ago, 4 years ago when he had a good year. Okay. Why can't you that's the same thing as looking at a minor leagues?
The minor leaguers are playing right now in the minors, so I'm not looking at the past. I'm looking at their present season. I'm not looking at what they did 4 years ago necessarily.
But you don't know. They have no numbers in the major leagues, and
right. So I have to look at the minor league and try to extrapolate it. It's correct.
You're allowed to be a little wrong. You know that?
I don't. You can disagree with me. That's fine.
No,
what I'm stating though are facts. Like you're not stating facts. You're saying he's gonna get better because some magical thing is gonna happen.
Did we say that?
This can go on for days.
No, that's why I was gonna say
put a level-headed.
I think I'm actually.
I'll put a level
going like this every day.
I'll put a level-headed kind of bow on this at the end, which I've seen. I do think across the majors, it matters that Stanton is getting paid a lot. And if you've seen it, that teams they'll look at it and be like, well, we're paying him this much. We got to play him even though the production is so bad. And to me, that's not the best way to go about it because I look at that as a sunken cost. It's like one of those things I say it all the time. we're going away for the weekend. I'm going to this concert, and it's $500 and the trip and the hotel, and it's like, all right, I already laid out $1,000, but you don't want to go. When you go there, you're going to be miserable. The money's already gone. You can't get it back. You're better off trying to do something positive in its place. So sit, Stanton. You ain't getting that money back.
No. He's not. What you're saying is correct, but I think the point that we're making is I think there's the
same with Robinson Cano with the Mets. We're paying.
Yeah, that's a great thing.
Sit him.
Sit
him. The money's gone.
Cut him. DFA.
I still think he has the ceiling he has.
I agree with you, and
that's much higher than just some guy.
And guys definitely get blinded by it.
Unless there's some guy that you can bring up that you really feel good about, genuinely feel good about.
Right.
And to be honest,
a high prospect that you're looking forward to, I think keeping Stanton has a much higher ceiling than just some guy you're pulling up just for shits, just to fill the spot. I think I'd rather just roll with Stanton because
but you know what you're getting with him. I get it. It's different ways.
It could pop again. You don't know.
This is my last thing on it. Yesterday also shows we should let him play the field because he obviously is DH.
He always is. I swear.
He's in his head too much with being adjusted DH because that's all you're focusing on. When you play the field, you feel like you matter the entire game. You're not fully focusing on the batting. He went 2 for 3 yesterday when he played the field. But all I'm saying is, who is you guys saying cut him, pay him? There's not. I don't know who I'd want to play over him right now. That's the thing. I'm not saying that he deserves to be playing, but I don't know who I would start on him with the Yankees roster right now.
Fair. That's kind of part of it as well.
The defensive thing is interesting. So you guys watch more Yankee games than I do. Does he still have that? He had a great arm when he played with the Marlins. It was insane.
It's not the same, but it's definitely still a good arm.
That was his range.
It's not like he's fine out.
Never great, but he had the amazing arm.
Yeah, and also, you know, Yankee Stadium's a small park. He's not covering a ton of ground.
He is though.
I don't have the numbers off the top of my head. I swear, and I think a lot of Yankee fans feel the same way. It has felt like I remember last year there was a stint where he got a nice little heater last year at one point. And I swear it was when he played in the field.
Yes,
he focuses. I would love to see the true numbers on it, but it just from afar as a fan, not from afar, but as a fan, it's felt that way. That he locks in when he actually plays.
It's a real thing when you only have to focus on hitting. You're overanalyzing every little thing because that's all you're focusing on. When you strike out and you have to play right field, you can't remember the last at bat because you're fucking have to worry about playing right field. You're not worrying about everything you just did the last at bat because then now he has 2 more innings just to sit on the bench, think about it the at bat.
So I think that's a great point. That's the mental part. So then what I would then do is I would then look at the splits and be like, all right, how does he perform when he's DHing? How does he perform when he's playing right field? And that combines the so that's an point.
We all agree.
Right.
Combine those two.
That's what I've said from the jump. I think it's a combination of everything.
But to go back to the point. So when you say RBIs, that to me is just I don't care. But if you said that, hey, how does he look when he's doing that? That is interesting to me. That opens up.
Right.
So there is. I'm not. You seem to think that I'm only going to have my point, and that's it. I can meet halfway if it's a good point.
Well, yeah, but all right. Yeah. Well, next topic. Cubs suck.
Next topic. Hold on.
Cubs do suck. I'll own that right now. Tell us 3 in a row.
Tell us about NASCAR. I got a couple things to
tell you about NASCAR. NASCAR's first ever street race is in the heart of Chicago. Our guys, Spider and Large, will be going. The biggest names in NASCAR will battle on Sunday, July 2nd for 100 laps in the NASCAR Cup Series inaugural Grant Park 220. Drivers will be tested on the unprecedented 12-turn Chicago street course running through iconic Grant Park. 2-day music festival featuring the Chainsmokers, Miranda Lambert, the Black Crowes, and Charlie Crockett. Chicago Street Race, July 2nd, 5:30 Eastern, NBC.
The other thing, this is probably another fucking hot topic. I shouldn't go with this in a transition. I like myself in the picture-in-picture. That's awesome. Should the Mets trade Verlander? Speaking of money, I don't know who could go and pay that money.
1 more year?
So I think Scherzer might be the more likely option.
Right.
1 more year?
Yeah.
So I looked at it as Scherzer is still performing.
Scherzer, a year after this one.
And Verlander probably have no trade. He can't go anywhere.
I don't know about that, but I know he has 2 more years after this. That's why I don't think any team would touch him.
Okay, so Scherzer is the more likely. It's a year and a half.
He's also pitching better.
So should they trade Scherzer? Should the Mets trade Scherzer? Scherzer's a better contract. I think they should.
So, but at that point, you're saying full-blown sellers, obviously.
You're sellers right now.
He's older. I know it's a little different.
When
I say full-blown,
does that make you a full-blown? Does that make you a full-blown seller? I don't think so.
I guess what I meant by that was just sellers.
You're selling Scherzer. That's your supposed ace. Like that means you're
one of your top 5 best players.
That's selling. If you're selling,
but should you sell? And I think maybe you should. There's so few sellers. You can get so much for your players. I think they should investigate selling Scherzer.
A lot? Do you think they'd get a lot from Scherzer?
Yeah, because there's so many teams that need a pitcher.
Yeah.
Listen, I know I'm obsessed with him. He'd be a perfect fit on the Reds.
Yes.
That's exactly what the Reds need, right? You're telling me right now, with the
Orioles
jolt that the Reds have, the Orioles as well, with the jolt that the Reds have on offense and how much fun they are, and if they ever stop doing this arbitration shit and they're waiting for the clock and Strand comes up, that's another big bat in that lineup. They're awesome with Abbott and who's the other guy?
Hunter Green is out. He's not out till August now.
He's out till August. You
really do need Scherzer more than ever.
That puts him in a really, really good spot to go get Scherzer.
About
now the Mets would want some of those prospects back, which the Reds. That's it's making them work, so they can't do that. But
you know why that won't happen?
I think you would get a lot for Scherzer.
It's not going to happen because the Reds owner is a cheap fuck.
Well, that's fine. So somebody else who's on the cusp of making a run. Now they don't spend. All the teams who need him won't spend. The Minnesota Twins. Now all of a sudden they're pretty good to go in the Central Division.
They need hitting
out in the AL. The Diamondbacks. Imagine putting the Diamondbacks in that fucking rotation.
That's what I've been trying to. The Diamondbacks form a 3-headed monster with Scherzer.
Unbelievable.
Plus, he used to pitch there. A nice little reunion.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
I think Diamondbacks almost makes the most sense.
I think you're right. And I also think that ownership.
It's weird.
Orioles make a lot of sense.
Orioles is the best fit, but I don't think they're actually going to do that because, once again, fuck owners.
Could you imagine the Diamondbacks picked up Scherzer and Goldschmidt?
Oh, my God.
That was the moves they made.
Oh, man.
It's weird because in the NFL, I feel like teams sense their opportunity to go for it, and they do. Like the Rams. Like they make that trade. Stafford is the difference, and then they go get it done. In basketball, for sure, we've seen teams, the Celtics, the big three, like you have that sense of the moment, and it could screw you up down the road, but you're like, you know what, we'll take a 3-year window here to potentially win a championship. In baseball, I feel like they're a little hesitant to realize they're on the precipice of a championship because of how much is in – and it's probably rightfully so as a money manager and an owner. But I don't know. I look at a team like the Diamondbacks, like, man, we have a chance to steal a World Series here. Go figure out what you can potentially do.
What I was going to say was, I think in baseball, unless you, for example, you have sound like a dominant pitcher, I think
what about a big bat like Cespedes with the Mets? But
their impact, I think, is like in basketball, one guy can change everything. In football, when it comes to a quarterback, he can change everything. A hitter, he'd have to go berserk.
Pitcher can, though. Verlander with the Astros.
I said a starting pitcher, a dominant starting pitcher can really change things. You're just when they traded CeCe.
Brewers.
That's real.
Well, the Brewers got
that's fucking real. Like you can change almost put the franchise on its head.
Let me ask you this:
for a half season,
what would you have to give up for Scherzer?
Not as much as you think. It depends who's paying the salary. So if the Mets are willing to pay down the entire salary, then you have to give up a shitload. And that might be a way to make it work with the Reds or the Orioles. The Mets would be like, all right, we'll cover 90% of the salary, but I want big prospects back.
Do you guys think, because this is interesting this year, where there's right now you can't tell who's going to be a seller because there's a lot of teams 3 games out, 5 games out. For all the bad teams that we thought were going to be sellers are all 5, 4, 3, 2 games out, Do you think there's a team that is kind of in that position that you do think will still be sellers? Like that they still have that chance to make the division, win the division, but they're just like, fuck it, we're going to sell.
I'll go one further. If you're a fan of that team, would you say the Cubs?
Yeah, because it's Stroman.
If you're a fan of that team and you're within reach of 4 to 5 games of your division, but you don't have World Series ability, like you're lying to, you know what I mean? Like, well, we're in the mix of it, but you can't win a World Series.
Yeah.
Do you fault your team if they make a move like that and they become full-blown sellers?
As a fan, yes. But if I
think it depends on the age
logically thinking, no.
All right, so like what are they out 5? The Detroit Tigers? Would you fault the Detroit?
No, the Tigers can't win. So no, I think Tigers.
All right, so then go through the examples. Keep
it depends like who you're giving.
How about the White Sox?
Like
White
the
Sox
Angels?
are 5.5 back with Giolito and Dylan Cease. Like,
how about the Guardians though? Because the Guardians, everyone says that Bieber's going to be given up. Maybe Ramirez. Like a lot of these guys have been talking about getting up, and they're like right in the division. But sometimes these owners is like, let's just get rid of these contracts.
Pittsburgh, maybe.
Pittsburgh's dying. They're 17 and 35 over their last.
I mean, St. Louis has to, right? They got to sell, or they'll just be like, bad year Cardinals. Like, it's just bad year.
Well, they have two starting pitchers that are in walk years.
Yeah, I would.
Montgomery and Jack Flaherty.
I guess, yeah, like the Cubs are a perfect example. Pull that back up again.
But we've seen teams where they come up to like the final day where they're like basically we win this game, this series, if we're gonna sell or not. So I think a lot can.
So
change.
a lot of it plays into like Arizona obviously can't sell. San Francisco is a franchise that won't.
Red
sell.
hot too.
The Dodgers will not sell.
No.
One that's interesting there, because they went all in, but it ain't working. I've called them paper tigers, and it's a little hard because they were in the NLCS last year. Do the Padres look at it and go,
who could they sell though?
That's what I'm saying. All their guys are like new, freshly big contract guys.
And that's like you are
Philly sell?
You're dying.
No, they're hot.
No
right
way.
now.
Phillies are way too hot.
The Mets sell?
Mets, I think they're sell.
That's the one. This is the one that's the caveat. If the Angels go, you know what? I don't think we can win a World Series. Ohtani's burning a hole in our pocket because he's probably leaving anyway. If you're an Angels fan, do you get furious if they trade? Because they can't. I don't think the Angels can win a World Series.
I'm an Angels fan. I'd be mad.
Yeah,
you can't win a World Series though. Yeah, and the net turns out to be a positive deal. Like kind
but
of
I
the best
still
year
feel
they've
like
had in a long time.
Right, that's like the most exciting thing that they have. Like, I mean, Mike Trout is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but like, what's better than a guy that can go out and like strike out, like 10 guys, and then go and hit a fucking grand slam? Like, even if my team sucks, at least I can say I got Ohtani.
But you don't have him for much longer. You only have him for the rest of this year. So the problem is, if you trade him, he's probably never coming back. But if you let him walk at the end of the year, you get nothing when he leaves.
Yeah,
it's a tough because
it's an impossible.
I was gonna say I don't think they would not sell like before the trade deadline. They would have to just shit their pants basically from now until the trade deadline. I think if they stay like 500 and they're in the playoff mix, it's the first time they've really had that with Trout and Ohtani. I think they're gonna try to go for it, even though I agree. I don't think they really have a much chance to like win a World Series.
Trout's never won a playoff game. It's been to one playoff series and they got swept.
Let me ask you
if they have a chance, if they're still in the mix of the deadline, they're not going to sell.
One question about the Mets. Usually, pre-Cohen, this is sell no matter. You have to sell. But with a guy like Cohen who doesn't care about spending, do you think he's like I'm not selling? Like I'm going to try and add?
No.
Well, no, I actually was going to – I thought you were going this way. A guy like Cohen whose pockets truly might be, like, bottomless, okay? Does he have the ability to sell Scherzer and Verlander now for, like, whatever, 50 cents on a dollar, 25 cents on a dollar, and then go in 3 months at the end of the year, I'm re-upping anyway. And then he's going out to get – like, that might not be – you're just basically up – it's like upgrading your iPhone every fucking 3 months. It's a wild thing to do, but he has the ability to do that.
No, if they sell and then they just go balls deep in Ohtani, that couldn't be.
I think
so one thing to look at. We already have a little bit of past here. They traded Eduardo Escobar last week, and I know it's not a big deal, but they owed him $10 million. The Mets ate the entire $10 million to get 2 prospects back. So if they do that same strategy with Scherzer, and then Rico says, and then just. All right, we're just going to go get 2 more starters in free agency. Now we're also boosting up our farm system. That might happen, especially if the Mets look horrible right now. Horrible.
Bad.
They won a game this week against Milwaukee. That's only because Milwaukee can't hit lefties. That's not because the Mets are good. Right. Milwaukee's so inept.
No, and
win one series.
Level-headed, I did say it. I'm like,
one series in June.
You couldn't possibly look at that.
They didn't win any.
Yeah, not one.
You can't possibly look at that lineup and thought it was the right way to go into this season because guys overperformed. Marte overperformed. McNeil was playing like guys were playing a little bit above their heads, and then you got Vogelback as your move. Like he can't play. It was just not the right thing to do. So, NBA free agency. Where do you grade this in terms of excitedness? So the top 10 is not. It's got stars, but I think there's some guys on there that you kind of don't jump off the paper in terms of like the true free agency. So I'll give you the top 10, and you grade it. Megan, you can go first. Kyrie, Harden, Van Vliet, DiVincenzo, Kobe White, Cam Johnson, D'Angelo Russell, Josh Hart, Austin Reeves is what's being graded as your top 10.
I mean, honestly, that didn't really excite me too much. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
See,
I'm also seeing Harden is leaning towards re-signing with the Sixers
for way more money.
I would give it like a C+ if I'm grading it with grades.
They're supposedly the Sixers are going to give him over 36 a year.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
So that hurts to me. Now I'm going down to a D because one of the top two guys. There's no drama really. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it doesn't happen.
Kyrie will cause some kind of drama some way, right?
Also, I think you're missing.
He's never done that before.
I also think you're missing like the guys that be traded is like what really makes it big.
Right.
Yeah, so I was going to say.
It's about Damian Lillard gets traded. I mean, I think you have to account Bradley Beal got traded. Like
Chris Paul got traded.
Let me tell you something.
Porzingis got traded. You're right.
Like, we've already seen like these big. We've seen basically 3 Porzingis.
So I get So I guess great. So do it that way. So
I think those count.
In terms of the guys who are free agents, it's a low grade. Do we think the drama of all these trades can save it? In terms of
that's what I think it's
crazy because listen to this: the Clippers just didn't pick up 2 options, and they have saved $110 million of cap space. Wow. Like they have so much money that they could still go out and with having Paul George and Kawhi, and they still have Westbrook, right? I don't know if that's a guy you want. He played better for the Clippers, but that's a team that can make a splash out of nowhere with them as well. So I don't know. Chris Middleton. I forgot about Chris Middleton.
That's what's being graded as a top 10? Was I completely wrong?
No, I didn't go by no grades. I just went by money, salary. So
Draymond bumping up, I guess, there.
Biggest earners at the top, Russell Westbrook, 46.
Okay.
Yeah, D'Angelo Russell, Westbrook, Harrison Barnes, Van Vliet, obviously very good.
So based off last year's salary.
Eric Gordon's a good role player. LeVert's really good. I like LeVert a lot, too.
You see every day that someone like the Cavs said they're open to trading Garland. Like there's a lot of people.
Well, that's what I was gonna say too. There's a lot of good East teams. Like the Knicks are trying to make a move for a big player.
Yeah.
The Heat are trying to make a move for a big player. There's some teams that are close.
I meant to ask you.
They're trying to make some big trades.
You guys like actually want DiVincenzo?
I don't want DiVincenzo.
Like,
absolutely.
Let's give it a rest.
He's not like a star.
I know, but that's not a guy like we should like.
Does that mean we keep Josh Hart or we lose Josh Hart?
Keep him.
I think we still get both. Yeah,
they're doing like the Villanova thing.
I mean, why would you not want a guy who can defend and shoots 40% from 3?
No, he's fine. He's a fine
in this
player.
day and age. Yeah, that's what you.
As a guy off
I don't
the
think
bench, that's a great piece.
I don't think that's exactly like the Knicks need more than that.
Well, I think we need that too.
No, I mean the Knicks need
obviously like DiVincenzo is not getting us over the hump.
The Knicks need a top 10 star.
Yeah,
that's the only way you win in the NBA.
Yeah, no,
that's a fact.
No, it's
but
true, but
if you're building a team up and you want to be entertaining and still not sell your soul for the wrong guy like they kind of did with Amari.
No, don't
give away.
No, that's like buyer. That's like
just don't give away all your assets. That's all I'm saying. I don't want the Knicks to give away all the assets.
I think what you just said about Amari is not fair.
R.J. Barrett.
He got hurt. That's not our fault.
R.J. Barrett
punched the fucking fire extinguisher.
But that was way after.
I'm just
still
saying,
in the prime. That was when we were playing the Heat and they had Melo. Yeah, it was.
No, but his legs were fucked up already.
I don't need to talk about Amari Stoudemire right now.
Oh no! Also, no. I'm defending the Knicks here. You selling short the Knicks. DiVincenzo is not like a not sell your soul, just pick up like for your entertaining. DiVincenzo's a guy that helps you win.
No, I agree with that. But what I'm saying is,
it's not like the piece that brings you from 4 seed, 5 seed to like champion.
Don't go all in on a free agent who's like fringe.
DiVincenzo's not all in.
I understand that.
Role player.
I'm saying don't go all in on a free agent who's like maybe fringe top 15 and you think is the star of your team.
I agree with that.
Like let's say in reverse. Let's say we didn't have Julius Randle and Julius Randle was one of the hot names out there.
Sure.
If we went all in and traded pieces for Julius Randle, that's not going to win you a championship. We're trying to convince ourselves.
I agree.
He's top 15.
That's why I didn't want Donovan Mitchell.
Right.
And I was like,
that's a good point.
And I was and I thought amongst Knicks fans, I was kind of in the minority on that. And I thought if you look at what the Cavs, like he played very well, but I just think he's like high volume, relatively low efficiency, doesn't play as a shooter, doesn't play like great defense. I just don't think he's like the best player or second best player on a championship team.
Right.
I don't know if you guys have the complete pieces to like if you want a bigger player, like RJ Barrett's going to be part of that. And then I don't know who else you'd.
I want RJ to stay. I don't want RJ.
Well, I mean, the evidence has been that no one has ever.
There's no one else you could trade.
No one has ever signed here massively in 20 years other than Amari Stoudemire. We didn't sign Melo. We went and traded for him. Now he may have signed here, so that's
that's
chicken and the egg. Now that's where Dolan fucked up, putting his hand in on Donnie Walsh.
That's all. Yeah, that's all.
It's all in the past. Yeah, but either way, nobody signs really who's massive with the Knicks.
But I think this is the best chance we've ever had.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson was like the closest you've had lately.
But that was like
and he's playing over his head.
Like,
he's not a massive star, you know what I mean? Like
I think he's playing over his head. I think we made a very strong investment.
We did make a good strong
player
investment.
who has played better than the contract we're paying.
I'm saying the names that jump off the table. You know, when you get hooked up with that LeBron free agency. LeBron wouldn't come here. Wade wouldn't come here. Like Kyrie's a little different because
that was 2012 though.
Harden's not coming here. Like we are not in the mix for the top 5 guys on the board every year. When that eventually changes, I don't know. But
I'm telling you, I really feel like we're like right on that precipice of it.
Yeah, because they're building and not going all in on the stupid shit. So,
but I think grabbing like DiVincenzo, I think those are pieces that can like get you closer to that.
Yeah.
You know what's the most interesting part of free agency for me at the NBA? It's not the players this year; it's the teams. So like the Heat are this team that's like right on the precipice, right? The Knicks are this team that you feel is right on the precipice. What are the Spurs going to do? Are they going to get somebody with Wembanyama? So like, the last decade of in the NBA, it's always the players that I'm more interested in. But this year, it feels like I'm more interested in what those teams do. If that makes any sense?
No, it's fair. I think I would imagine the Spurs have a very like a young, decent core that now they have like the guy in the core. They kind of like the A player in the core to now build around like Schoen, I would say was the Baylor kid.
Sohan,
good defender.
Jeremy
you say it's like
Sohan,
it's weird. Yeah, it's like show whatever. Like Keldon Johnson, like Devin Vassell. Like they have some young pieces there that now he can be like the A player amongst those pieces.
Will they get a free agent too, though?
Probably.
That's what I'm wondering. I want to see
no one of like crazy significance. Maybe like a veteran.
Where would Kyrie go? Like what team would take him? Would the
probably
Pacers?
probably back to the. I think he's going
back to the Mavericks.
I say he goes back to the Mavs.
I think he's going back
to the dumbest? Is that the dumbest move Cuban will ever make?
Maybe.
But you know who the Clippers wouldn't be bad for him.
I don't know. He's bad everywhere he goes. He just
it's just not worth it to me. That's one of those guys. Like I'm not saying collude, but I don't know how you put him back in the league. I don't know if it's worth if you're not within a championship of 15 games, he's gonna just disappear.
You know, I mean,
he's gonna start his shit again. Like
you don't know who he's like. Actually, he's obviously friends with some people in the NBA. Maybe Paul George is a guy that could help him or something like that.
I think the Lakers.
The Lakers, I just don't like. LeBron can obviously they've done it. So
like, if you're gonna take a chance, I think that's the place to take the chance. I mean,
stuff in the playoffs too. Like they seem like they were on really good terms.
Yeah.
I'll give you the last one too. A little bit of entertaining TV tonight. The Match 8. Is that tonight? It's on the sportsbook 6:30 tonight.
Oh, I'm sure it's not.
It's Kelsey and Mahomes plus 210 against Curry and Thompson minus 286. So I don't think we're going to break down their golf games. But off of that, what is the dream match within Barstool? So a content person and an athlete. And you're setting 4, I guess. So like you could go Dave and Shohei Ohtani against Big Cat and Aaron Rodgers. What is your dream 4, Megan?
I don't know. You got to give me a second to think. Right. I'm trying
Frank the Tank and Kyrie Irving.
God forbid you get to go first, Megan. Now you're going batting last every time.
Well, first off, you always go for. I have noticed you have said ladies first. Ladies first has been very nice. You've been including
even
me,
though you don't even know what day it is. You've been drinking Jello shots for LSU
I know what day it is. I didn't get to go to Omaha. Did you see me?
Yeah,
in
but
Omaha?
I thought you were. I thought that was like a across the world. If you're wearing purple,
I got really
Jello
sick
shots.
on the way back from Nashville, so I did not get to drink the 2 days that I really wanted to drink. So that just to be fair.
Fair enough.
So let me think. Have someone else go because I'm trying to think. I don't want to piss anyone off from Barstool.
I need to think too. Do you like? Does this interest you tonight?
No, not at all.
Right. I feel like it's kind of.
It's a nice mix-up. It's a nice mix-up other than baseball.
I think when I first did, I was like, "Oh, this would be kind of sick," and then it's like,
because they don't talk shit.
Yeah, they.
Oh, like nice shot, buddy.
I don't know. I think Kelsey. Kelsey can talk some shit.
This would be a good thing if it was like.
Probably gonna be the worst golfer.
Kelsey's gonna suck.
So I think
Steph Curry's a stick.
In terms of
Curry's a good golfer.
In terms of talking shit, I would go Big Cat and LeBron against Dave and Aaron Rodgers.
I think I got a better one for you.
Okay with that.
I love Dave versus Whitney. So that was the 2 in my head.
Probably okay.
They just the way they argue is just fantastic. Okay. Like they really go at each other's throats. So I was trying to think of like a good combo, which you almost got LeBron, and that was like almost Whitney and LeBron. Like the ultimate, he brings like the ultimate like showstopper to Dave. And then Dave, I'm trying to think who would be like a good person for Dave.
Well, you
Brady.
gotta,
It'd be
no,
Brady.
you got to figure out who hates.
Brady was who I had in my head, but I want someone that's going to talk more shit.
Who
Julian
hates
Edelman?
Whitney.
No, well, that's who I was thinking. I'm not.
Who's the guy who bundled him in that?
That's who I was
photo?
thinking. Maybe somebody will beat him up in the
Such a
NHL or
random-
something.
Dude, like imagine the headshots if you were designing the graphic. It'd be LeBron, Dave, Whitney, and then whoever the fuck that
Some
guy
guy,
is.
some guy would beat
At
up
the
Whitney.
bottom, like also
Whoever the fuck
featuring.
that guy is.
2009.
Yeah, it's like on a concert poster. You know how they have the headliners for the days, and it's like they have some idiot who's DJing for 5 minutes at a time in between while they're setting up the stages. That's what that guy
They
would.
should like these events, so they should have.
See, that's the problem. So like I think Big has a better answer because we know he hates Rodgers. Whitney, we don't know an exact like hate.
But he more hates Rodgers out of like, just like beating.
Well, he hates him the
Because he
same way Dave
owns
hates
the
him.
Bears.
I think Dave is more of like a
Dave hates
pure
LeBron
hatred
as,
with
like, a
LeBron.
person.
Is there anybody else like so?
Like Dave's never sat across from LeBron. Like Big Cat has literally sat across. From
Yeah. I got
They've
that.
had
I'm
pictures.
just saying
They've texted.
they would have
before.
fun. I got it. Yeah, whoever that guy is.
Yeah, just that guy and Dave
Yeah.
versus Whitney and LeBron.
So like, I mean, he can't play, so like, it'd have to be mini golf. But does Frank?
Frank and Darren Ruff.
And Vogelback and Steve Cohen.
Yeah, but like those guys, you
Frank
gotta
and
factor
everyone?
in that Vogelback and Darren Ruff, like the sell of that on TV,
Yes,
no
right.
one's watching. Like I went big names because I think that sells.
Right.
Yeah, I know, but for some reason
Zaz really upset.
Frank sells, man.
Bro, Frank the Tank puts ass in.
All right.
Frank with 80
Darren
Mets,
Ruff
it's
doesn't
sold.
sell. Darren Ruff.
Yeah,
doesn't-
that's more anti-Ruff than
But
anti-Frank.
to be honest, what they're missing like tonight with this, they need like honestly like a internet personality or somebody that will talk shit as like a caddy. Like let them.
Or they need to be like
for-
drinking while they're doing it. Like every hole, it needs to be like real like drinking golf, where it's like if you have like a beer a hole and you just keep getting progressively drunker and the personalities truly come out. That's
Yeah.
what I want.
Yeah, I want to see Mahomes get like out of character.
I had
That would
friends,
be fantastic.
I had friends almost flying in from Tampa for that. You remember that Frank roast, the Pete Alonso thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People were gonna fly in from Tampa to come watch that. Anything Frank Mets related?
Yeah,
puts
Frank
ass in
goes, but
seats.
what's Darren Ruff going to do on the golf course?
that-
Just take it and
brother,
kind of be
that
like, he
doesn't-
doesn't have any ammo to go back.
He
You know
also
what I
doesn't
mean?
have a great
That don't- that-
personality.
that don't
either.
matter.
You see him in
People
interviews,
will
it's kinda
watch.
boring.
People
wondering
will
if,
watch
like,
for
I
Frank.
want tonight.
Are there
but
middle of the road other content
I guess
guys that we're missing?
I'm trying
like,
to put in the dream world, like maybe he actually like he just talks shit back to Frank.
Yeah. I want tonight.
is there somebody we're missing
Patrick
with like Glenny
Mahomes.
Bowles? Like, I mean, I got a
You
fucking
could shit,
lot of
you need good
grudges.
shit, like real good shit talkers is what
I
I'm.
got a lot of grudges.
I just want Patrick Mahomes tonight. Just be like, yeah, my brother's a fucking loser. Like just something like that.
Kirk and Lenny Dykstra.
See, I want the guy on the other team to
blow
be
up.
like your brother.
Yeah, your
That would be
brother's a
cool.
loser.
See what
Yeah,
he
but
says to
Dykstra's
it.
such a wild card that
Right. But they had an amazing. It was like a 5-minute interview, and Kirk and Dykstra were just screaming at each other for 5 minutes. It was
Kirk's a
brilliant.
great arguer. He would
was-
be fun. He would be out there.
I was gonna suggest some matchups for you, Rico.
Go
but-
ahead.
But I'm a writer.
No,
I'm
go
a
ahead.
writer. I'm a writer.
it's the
I
segment.
mean,
Go ahead.
you and Gottlieb would be crazy.
Yeah.
That would
They
You guys patch
called
things
each
up.
other.
For all times.
No, they didn't patch it up.
Not really. I mean, he's still a fucking.
they just
Rico
had-
hasn't patched up anyone.
Yeah, there it is.
Rico did a lot of fake.
But that one never got patched up. Genuinely.
Oh, you called him.
Yeah, it seemed like
I said I'd leave him alone, and I've left
Called
him
him and said,
Oh,
alone.
that's right. That's
I've
right.
left
you
him
did.
alone. Now I
That's
still
right.
like. I still think he's a squid who's a thief, but like I'm not letting it obsess my day.
No, not at all.
That's how it's changed.
No, it for sure doesn't. It does not take up your day if you see a tweet of his. Never.
Yeah. Because like trying to think of who else.
Let's do our picks.
Yeah, do the picks. But that's a good – and I also think last thing, I think this match thing should kind of turn into a series. So it's 4 teams and you play it out for a championship, 18 – I don't know. Just set something up where it's a little bit more competitive rather than just this one and have some kind of
This is all-
championship.
it's weird. It's like 12 holes.
Yeah, it's just one night. Like make it
And is
into
it all for
a-
charity?
make
I
it
mean, as
into a
much as I like
series.
charity, I want something like. Give
Well,
me
it would be
something
way
they
more
can-
entertaining if they went out into their own pockets
Yeah.
right.
as well.
That'd be funny.
But go ahead. Big Ev, what do you got?
So I was in I believe it's delayed, so it's starting to get in. Pirates money line today, going for the sweep. Hit both the first 2 games. Yankees in the run line, and the Rays Diamondbacks over 10. Good pitching matchup for the over there. Also, a little breaking news: Kyrie's meeting with the Suns.
That's too many. How? How? How can they even afford that?
Just reporting, simply reporting.
Oh, I know, but like how? That honestly,
him and Durant got along.
You know what though? Like
Durant, Beal, and fucking Booker. Just
if they lose more than 7 games, it's a bad season. Those 4. I got Yankees -1.5, Angels, and the Marlins.
I'm gonna go with the Astros, and I think fundamentally you have to take the Brewers against the Mets. You have to. The Mets are just so bad. Why? Just chase the plus.
Who's pitching?
I believe it's Scherzer.
It's Scherzer, yeah.
And I don't care. I don't care.
No, I know.
You got to take the Brewers. Megan, you.
I'm on the Angels money line, the Red Sox money line, the Astros money line, and I need Kettle, Marte, and Ohtani just to get a hit for a parlay today, -127.
Oh, interesting. Just 2 guys to get a hit for a parlay? Where'd you get that idea?
I think it was this guy, some guy named like it starts with a T, I think. I don't know. He came up with something called like a hit parade.
All right, I have a new. Maybe
ice. I don't know what it was.
Me and whoever Megan hates against Megan and Gottlieb. That'll be a good match. Clemmer, what do you got?
Yeah, so Bello, I know the line moved. I tweeted it out, so it's a little higher. But Bello, he's been sensational his last 10 starts. Wainwright's been awful of late, so that's a good one to grab. Phillies, Cubs, it's a pretty good pitching matchup. I don't know why the over-under is so high. And then the Yankees against the A's. Clark Schmidt's been really good his last 6-7 starts, so that's one maybe.
So
we'll have a hit parade too. A hit parade will be priced for you.
So
I'll
sad
tail that one, maybe.
KFC's burned his Mets hat. It's. Let me tell you, this Mets season.
That's where we're at right now.
So bad.
Back up next.